What's up, everyone? This is Faust Hellhound, and this is Faust Talks. Faust Talks! So, Saturday, over at my LGS, we did an apocalypse game. So what we had was two tables. They were both 4x4. I mean, not 4x4, 8x4s. So pretty much a large piece of plywood slapped down. So with those, we put them together at the corners. So it's pretty much, it's like a big L or a V. And we were playing where there was 3 people on each team, because there was only 2 people that really came. I thought a few more would come, but some people backed out because life happened, and I don't blame them, because life does happen, and life sometimes sucks like that. Yeah, I went a little bit faster so I could get through. Yeah, so life happens like that. Life sucks sometimes. So we lost 3 players, so we decided to do a 3 team, like 3 people versus 3 people. And it literally ended up being Eldar versus Imperium. Because how it was a guy with Eldar, with like an old player with Eldar, and then a newer player with Eldar. And they were playing, so it was us 3 versus these 2 guys. But on turn 2, there was a player who brought some knights, only 2,000 points of knights, and was going to jump onto it and play on their side. So on turn 2, the deployment zone was pretty much, it was like for the 8x8 tables, 8x4 tables, is at 4 feet. Like 4 feet going forward was the opening, and then like 4 feet by 4 feet, that was the deployment zone on each edge of the corner. And then pretty much in the center area, it was all of the big fighting and stuff that was happening there, like all the real combat. And that was actually, it worked out pretty well. It was fun. The deployment zones is, now I know I should have made it like 1 player, because they have the short table. That 1 player has a 4x4 deployment zone, because just 1 table ended up being shorter just with the curve. And then and then the other side should have been a 4x6 deployment zone. So yeah, it opens up a lot more room where they can do stuff, but it's still a lot of the crap going on right there. And it just makes the deployments a little bit quicker and smoother. So that's what's the new thing going to be. So the longer table has a 6x4, and the short one is still by the 4x4. I had 2 towers in there. That was pretty much like, hey, the towers, you need to defend them. They're not in your deployment zone. They're outside of it, but you still need to defend them. So I ended up having the Eldar players so much closer to theirs compared to an Imperium. And just because of the kink side was that the Eldar was able to actually jump on objectives a lot quicker than Imperium is. But I did have objectives, a lot of objectives, most of them on the Imperium table. But they still had 4 feet to go before they could really jump into any combat, compared to the Eldar that only had to go like really 2 feet. Or not 4 feet, but like 6 feet for the Imperium and 4 feet for the Eldar. So I did give everyone, is like, hey, your first turn, you can literally do double your movement kind of thing. Like, hey, if you're going to charge, like everyone does double their movement first turn. No shooting kind of thing if you advance. So that sped a few things up, but overall, it was still slow. First turn, not a lot of fighting, no fighting. Second turn, a little bit of shooting. Third turn, a whole bunch of shooting. Fourth turn, a crap load of fighting. There was a little bit of fighting in turn 3, but there was still a whole bunch of shooting, and then a whole bunch of melee combat. But around turn 4 is a lot of people ended up like slowly leaving. People left in 3, and then on 4 it was like me and another guy, we had to leave, so we decided to end it there. Just with the points and everything, it literally ended up we had the same amount of points, which was kind of nice. But anyways, with the teams we had, excuse me, the teams we had was Imperium had Admech, had Custodes, and had Dark Angels. So that was the starting team for the Imperium, and the Eldar was just 2 Craft World armies right there. So in turn 2, what happens is that another player comes in, where he's all ready and everything, and he's going to be playing the Knight player. And then the third Eldar player came in. And he's an old school player, so this guy has the old school freaking scaled up, like from epic size scaled up to 22 or 28 millimeter Titans, like from the epic, like the Titan models that would be like 6 inches tall for like that super like Warlord Imperial Titan kind of things. But for the Eldar version, that'd be like 6 inches tall in epic. Yeah, that thing was scaled up. It was like 3.5 feet tall by 2.5 or like 2 feet wide. I'm like, dude, that thing is massive. It was the biggest model I ever seen, and that thing, it like everything was in pieces, so he had to literally go into, like, he brought it in a bucket. It was like 15 pieces, and then he just like pretty much like lobbed everything in pieces. There's this massive freaking model in the field. So yeah, he was able to move his models because of just how freaking far Titans move, dude. I told him, is like, yeah, you can move. Like, the rule is when you come in, you have to do your full movement. So nothing can stay stationary when it comes into turn 2. Like turn 2 and forward, nothing can be stationary. So it was his first turn, he moved all the models, and it's like, dude, each one of them moved like 24 without advancing. The other one can move up to 28 without advancing, or I mean 48 without advancing. I'm like, dude, I've never seen models move that far. I'm just like, that was ridiculous. And then the Knight player, instead of joining them because they got the third Eldar player, we had a Knight player, but the Knight player only had 2,000. That was all he had. And I'm saying is like, hey, since we have 4 players on Imperium, but this guy only has 2,000, and he had another guy come in who had a little bit over, or not, should I say 4,000? It was, we were doing PowerPoints, so it was 220 PowerPoints. And then so the Eldar player comes in and he has 225. The other guy just has like 110. And it's like, okay, we'll have the Knight player here with 110. He should be fine. And it just because there's 4 versus 3, this should be an even match because this guy's only at half power. So we're like, okay, that works out. And then at turn 3 was that we had a Dark Eldar player jump in for the Eldar. So it was 4 on 4. But we ended up defeating the 2 Titans he had. So that player was pretty much out of the game. So we just helped the other Eldar players like roll dice and stuff like that to help them out. And I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. That helps him out. That makes everything easier for everyone. So I just let that go, let that roll. I was happy with what was going on. And then after the Titans were destroyed, the Knight player's like, hey, I'm going to have to go. But I'm like, hey, you defeated the Knights. Or he helped a little bit defeating the Knights. So we defeated the Knights. Everything was good. He left, so it was just like, okay, it was even 3 on 3. And then like both forces like took enough damage where when that new Eldar player actually came in, is that we're actually pretty evenly matched right now. And then on that turn I dropped, well, right before his turn I dropped I had my Raven Wing and my Death Wing playing. I had on my Raven Wing on the board flying forward, and then some of the planes and like a few things from Death Wing. And then when Death Wing teleported in, they took several spots and they just ate up so many of the Eldar. They just like, nah, fuck you, Eldar, we're coming and we are eating you all alive. And they did it. They came on one side of the board and they literally cleared that side of the board, because I dropped like 20 Space Marine, like 20 Death Wing Terminators there, and they just shot up everything like crazy, rockets everywhere, and then charged what they could, and they tore up so much stuff. Because when I dropped them in, I was able to deal like 17 damage to the Titan during the shooting phase, and then the other Titan I dealt 25, and then charged in there. The Custodes teleported in and charged in, did nothing during the shooting. I did nothing during the melee, but the Custodes was able to kill that one Titan, and then the large Titan and the smaller Titan, I sent in my guys, and then my guys took out the smaller Titan. It's like, all right, Titans are gone. None of my Death Wing are like really hurt. And then third phase came and they just shot me up like crazy. They shot up my Death Wing, but Death Wing is hard to kill. With 2-up saves, 5-up invuln, and 5-up invuln. I'm just trying to find my turn. 5-up invuln with like a force to wound. You have to hit me on a 4 or you can't wound me. And yep, I passed my turn. That is fine. I am fine with that. I didn't go too damn far down. So yeah, with that 5-up invuln, dude, it was amazing, man. Or 5-up invuln and 4 to wound, because like literally half their wounds will not make it, so I'm good. And I also had Azrael next to them, so they actually had 4-up invulns, which was even better, because the 4-up invulns is like, dude, 50% of wounds that hit them will be good. And I also had a what's that called again? An apothecary there, so I had a 6-up feel no pain, and on top of it, I could res units and heal units. So yeah, dude, my freaking Termies had a lot. They were hard to take out, dude. People didn't want to mess with my Termies. I literally had a small two small, like smaller Titans, like night versions of the Eldar Titans, coming in, shooting their like sun blast cannons of doom or some weird crap like that. And yeah, they just shot everything, and it's like, yeah, guys, with you shooting literally freaking 3,000 points worth of models into this one 10-man group of Termies, you dealt 2 damage to 1, and you killed 3. All right, next turn. Yeah, we added a special rule, is that an apothecary, you can use the stratagem to res someone, and then all healing units have healing units that can heal a infantry has an ability, is if you roll 3 up, is it res another unit. And it's, so I res 2 of my Termies, boop boop. And then I healed 1, then healed that other one, boop boof. So I was only down 1 Termie, and then everybody's like, I hate Termies. They're like, I hate Death Wing Terminators. I'm like, yep. Death Wing Terminators are the best Terminators in the game. Yeah, and then so like after they shot Like, one guy shot 3,000 points worth of stuff into my Terminators, and he's just like, he told everyone else, is like, okay, focus on something else. These things are too hard to kill. So they focus on the Knights, or not the Knights, but the Custodes. Yeah, the Custodes were buff. They're tough. They have some strength on them, but they died. They were easier to wound. Because a lot of their weapons, there's like, oh, hey, I'm using strength 10. I'm using strength 8, so I wound on 3s. I wound on 2s. I'm just like, motherfucker. And then it's just like, yeah, they dealt a lot of damage to them with the shooting. And the melee, when the Dark Eldar player came in, is he did all the charges, and then with their attacks, it's like, oh yeah, with a single unit and these 2 characters, I can attack 97 times. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, a little facetious there, but you know what I mean. Just like, dude, that is too many attacks for just some infantry. And I fully agreed with it. But he tore up a lot of the Terminators and just like stuff like that. I'm like, damn. The AdMech player who was in there, he didn't do much. He had everything slow. He had none of his units in transports. It's just like everything he did was like he didn't get to do shit. And he just did not like it. And it's like, dude, sometimes that happens. But he had a little bit of shooting, but he didn't do much because he didn't have anything fast moving. He didn't have any transports, stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you need a lot of transports. Sarah, what the hell? Why? Okay, I seriously feel like I'm in the wrong area right now. Because I am not used to what's happening right now. Well, I'm just not used to seeing this angle. I'm probably distracted because I'm talking. But anyways, is that Apocalypse game, it was fun. I liked it. A lot of stuff happened. Oh, and one cool thing too was that with the Titan, the large Titan, when it exploded, is that he just placed him in a few different spots just because it was like, hey, it's so big now the model can use his cover. And I'm talking about this, like, one of the guns for the Titan is longer than like 2 Land Raiders connected, like front to butt. It was like longer than that. I'm like, dude, what the hell? And we're literally talking about is one of the guns is taller than a knight. Like a knight, whatever, Castellan or something like that. And it's just like one of the guns is like literally is its size and even bigger. And I'm like, shit, man, that's a huge model. But anyways, as he put all the places there, and then the knight player's like, dude, let's have all the pieces like a scatter dice and have them roll. And if it goes over any units, is that they are dealt damage, like D6 damage or some stuff like that, just because it was like such a massive model. We're talking about that model was massive. And like when it exploded, it just didn't do D6 damage. It did 2d6 damage by 2d6 distance. I'm like, dude, that is freaking massive. That is huge. But only when 10 inches out. 10 inches out. And then for my Terminators, is he only rolled 2. Doof. Double 1s for damage. Yeah, because it was like, first I was like, alright, I'm gonna get the Custodes. Yeah, your character and your guy is there. Alright, I did like 8 damage on that. 10 damage on the character. Alright, your Terminators. Oh yeah, wow, he did do 1 command reroll, so he could get like the 10 damage, because it was 1 and a 5, and it's like, you need 1 more damage to kill it. It's like, alright, command reroll that, boop boof. Alright, 10 damage right there, and then to mine, 2 mortal wounds. He's like, damn it, I can't reroll it. But yeah, that was my first run in a Apocalypse game, the craziness that happens there, and now my experience in how to run it properly and what to do, because now I know some secrets that I some secrets and things that should have been different. And now since it's different, I will do that. And it should make the game a lot better next time and smoother rolling. So we're thinking about probably doing it like every 2 months or some shit like that. But alright then guys, I will talk to you all later. Like and subscribe. And remember, most importantly of all, always love the Cowhound. You take care now.